Guys, I want to first wish you all Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys have a prosperous Christmas and also a Happy New Year as well. Hopefully 2025, you guys will all be really healthy and really wealthy as well. All right, guys, so we got insurance registrations to talk about. Is NIO going to be able to meet guidance? We're going to talk about that in this video. We're really close to the guidance. However, will we make it there? That's the big question. So NIO got 5,400. Onvo, 2,100. This is the highest weekly numbers for Onvo ever, which is very nice. In total, NIO plus Onvo, 7,500, which is spectacular. Of course, Xiaomi got 6,000. Xpeng got 7,400, but their cars are relatively cheaper. So pretty good. And overall, I'd say we are on track. So why would I say that? But we do need to push hard. So for Q4 guidance, NIO guided for 72,000 to 75,000 units. So far for October and November, they delivered 41,551 cars for those 2 months. That means NIO needs 30,499 cars to meet the lower end of the guidance for in December. All right, they got to deliver that many cars to meet the lower end of guidance, or 33,499 cars for the higher end of guidance for December. So quite a lot of cars that they need to deliver, and nonetheless, that is definitely going to be an all-time high in terms of monthly deliveries for NIO. So looking at the insurance registration so far from December 2nd to December 22nd, so these 3 weeks, NIO has gotten 18,730 vehicles so far. Keep in mind, this does not include the first day of December, and also we have about 9 days left in the month, apart from since the 23rd. Okay, so NIO needs about 11,769 vehicles in the next week and 2 days, or about 14,769 to meet the higher end of the guidance. So that seems like pretty far stretch, 11,769. If you look at the current run rate, so 7,500 in a week, that's about roughly a bit more than 1,000 per day. Multiply that by 9 and give or take multiply that by 10 with December 1st, then you're looking at, 10,000. So it's very possible that in the last few days of this month, you're going to get about 10,000 deliveries in total. So this is very, very nice. It looks like we are possibly going to be able to meet guidance, even though it seems like a very difficult task. So some of the things that they're doing here in China, they are giving every single NIO owner 5,000 RMB off, and this is exclusive for December to push sales. 5,000 RMB off for the 5 Series and the 6 Series cars. All right, so ET5, ET5T, ES6, EC6, you can get 5,000 RMB off for existing NIO owners. And you can get 10,000 RMB off for all the other cars if you decide to purchase one as their second NIO or something like that, or to sell your existing NIO and buy that. So pretty nice, pretty good incentives. On top of that, every single NIO owner has a repurchase voucher worth 6,600. So that's also a very nice incentive. But they've had this for a long time, okay? And then on top of that, in starting in November, mid-November, they had this crazy subsidy for charging and power swap up to 3,000 RMB. For me personally, it's 2,000 RMB. So if I buy a new NIO, basically I can swap and charge for free up to 2,000 RMB. But most people have around 3,000 RMB worth. So that's also another great incentive. So overall, they got a bunch of incentives right now, like really enticing people to buy the cars. And a lot of people are indeed pulling the trigger. The sales reps at the NIO stores have said that sales are absolutely exploding. You also hear from NIO CEO, he said that they have the most amount of locked-in orders in the past 6 months. So that's also very, very good to hear. And of course, with Onvo deliveries, Onvo, they had that hiccup with the battery supplier it turns out it was indeed BYD. They had like output problems, but then they added another supplier in. So that's hopefully going to change the situation and be, be able to not bottleneck deliveries. And it's very nice to see deliveries catch up. And the problem with the 85 kilowatt hour battery pack, well, everybody's taking delivery with the 60, and then they're going to be upgrading later back to the 85. So that's also very nice, and you're seeing more Envoys on the road here in China as well. Very, very good. And overall, it seems like they are on track to meet the lower end of guidance. Okay, they are on track, unless something terrible happens, which I certainly don't think anything terrible will happen. But in these last couple days of the month of this year, actually, I do believe that if NIO is pushing a little bit harder and telling people, hey, you got to take delivery of the car right now, then they can indeed get up to their guidance. The thing is, I think everybody's priced in this guidance number already, and the problem is the risk of NIO not meeting guidance. If NIO doesn't meet guidance and they have to come out with another one of those emails saying that they diligently or carefully, reluctantly reduced their targets down by a couple thousand cars, and that's going to be another gut punch to investors. And certainly hope that doesn't happen, but that has happened in the past. And I wouldn't be too surprised if that did happen indeed. But another reason they're pushing for deliveries is, first, also government reason. All right, government subsidy ends at the end of the year. All right, local government subsidies and policies. Next year, it's going to be a different policy. Who knows what kind of policy they have? So there's that pushing for deliveries. Also, some of the vouchers and all that stuff that I talked about just now, a lot of those expire by the end of this year. Okay, so you basically have to take delivery of the car right now to take advantage of these vouchers and all that kind of great stuff. So that's also pushing for a lot of people to take delivery of the car. Personally, in these NIO chat groups that I'm in, NIO owners, a lot of existing first-gen NIO owners, they've all said that this is very enticing. All right, this is very enticing for them to buy a new car, but a lot of them are still waiting for NT 3.0 NIOs. All right, they feel like the NT 2.0 NIO isn't a big enough of a jump to justify upgrading their car and selling their existing car. We can talk more about this in a future video and how this affects the bullish thesis going forward. That's going to be the title of another video. But some people have indeed pulled the trigger, but some people are still on the sidelines. These incentive policies are working, okay? And hopefully, fingers crossed, NIO can indeed get to the lower end of the guidance. And if by a miracle NIO gets to the higher end of the guidance, that's going to be such a good New Year's gift for everybody. But yeah, just be prepared for the worst, hope for the best. Hope for the best, all right? Be prepared for the worst, all right? I wouldn't be too surprised if we got one of those emails saying, hey, they got to, downward adjust their deliveries by a couple thousand vehicles. I wouldn't be too surprised if we get that. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.